Welcome to it. This is Know Your Power, the podcast series brought to you by VW Amarok. And over the course of this series, we want you to firstly discover the man that is Seabelo Senatla, but most importantly, help you tap into what real power is. Seabelo knows that his power comes from the people around him, and he surrounds himself with excellence, brilliance, and humility. The first 5 episodes are live right now, so make sure you get them all by clicking the link in the bio of your favorite podcast app. Hey, it's good to be alive, bro. It is good to be alive, and it's unreal to be with you and seeing you doing great things. How do we find you today?
You're finding me in good spirits. I mean, this week we were about to play a game finally. Had a pretty, let me call it sluggish. I had a sluggish week last week rather, because we were due to play a game and it didn't surface. So yeah, the OSC is playing around with us, but it seems like we're playing the Lions this weekend. For me, that's exciting because I haven't played rugby in a while, so I'm pretty stoked about what's to happen this weekend.
Now, let me just say here, as much as I love you, I am a Joburg guy. So this weekend, I'm going to be torn. I'm going to watch with no volume.
I saw that coming. I don't want to mention that we're playing the Lions. You probably do know, but I don't want to mention because I knew it's going to go sideways from here. Now, how am I supposed to talk to you now?
No, here's the thing. If you score any tries, I'm turning the volume down. That's what's happening. I say if, it's almost like, when you score, I'm just going to, people are going to be like, are you happy? They're texting. I'm like, well, I'm going to be baking or something. Maybe I'll just bake for the game or something like that. That way I don't need to be happy or unhappy. And then at the end, I can just deal with it.
Well, geez, man, Ruggers is Ruggers. I'm sure you'll enjoy it anyway. Doesn't matter who wins. I think if you just get a good display of rugby, I think at the end of the day, then everybody's okay.
For sure. Listen, Sebs, I wanted to talk to you about something, right? Was that a big part of my life is sort of my mother, and she has been such a rock for me. And as young men, I think we all go through our times, right? Our late teens, our 20s, most of us go through stuff. And there's one bedrock. Obviously, a great father is handy to have, but it seems to me in every society where the mother is strong, girls and boys need that. And my mother's been an absolute rock for me. And I know from what you've said and some of the things I've read is that your mom was such an integral part, right from you obviously getting that tremendous, almost movie-like transition to Sevens. Your mom's been at the center of things. I mean, maybe take us into what it's like between you and her. I'd love to know from the beginning what role she's played in your life.
I don't think it even started at that point, to be quite honest. My mother obviously was pushing me in the cradle since I was a young boy rather. I mean, now that I'm a young man, she's still pushing me forward. And it's never about what I was going to be, to a sense, because till this day she says she had no idea, I was going to be this person. But I guess mothers do what mothers do. And it's their job is to nurture, to care, to support, and to guide people through life. And I think that's what my mother did her whole life. Not just me, like all my siblings, we had a beautiful upbringing where, our mother was there. I know we're highlighting mothers and we're talking about them, but it's just as important, to have a father figure inside. I know not all of us are very privileged to have that, but here's why I feel so, so obliged to turn that page around and make men understand in this country and this world that how important we are in driving, our young ones to be better people. How important it is to let them groom us.
Now that's a great point, right? And I love where you've taken that thing, right? And we'll get back. Obviously, we all have great stories about our moms. At least I do, because there's a stock standard for mothers, by the way. If they want to wake the whole household up, I don't know if your mom does this one. Where they wear those slippers and they drag them on the ground so everyone can hear? She's not waking you up, but I can
hear the sound. It's funny though, because my sister used to wake us up. My sister's a singer. She loves music. She actually sings gospel right now. She literally quit her job and followed her passion. It was like, I'm going to do this. But every single Saturday, my dude, like it's a Saturday, we trying to sleep in late, everybody's trying to chill out. My sister blasts the music and sings on top of her voice. So that was my alarm for the longest time. I'd give that rein to her. My mother didn't do too much. But in terms of mothers, if you're sleeping too late, my mother doesn't even say anything, man. Just gets in the room, opens the curtains, opens the windows, and just goes out. But there's no way you can sleep after that. Come on, there's no way. No spook, no nothing. She just opens everything and then she budges out. You got the message there.
It's loud and clear.
It's very loud and clear. But mothers are very special, man. Mine made it a point to not obviously try to highlight everyone, even though I still know that I think my sister was always the favorite. Okay. But they try to keep they try to keep it as possible. So that we all feel special. And I guess like we got the best of the best every single time for them.
And you're touching on something great there just before we got into this convo, is that when you do have this anchor, which is the mother, but it leads to a great conversation. And I know you're involved in the mentoring of young men. And I think sometimes in the world we live in, it's also quite a lot of the young men are learning how to be a man through the screen instead of tacit examples. And I know you're hugely, I don't think passionate is the right word. You're invested, and you're investing your time into mentoring and being present in the lives of other young men who may not have strong and positive male influences in their life. And I don't think it's just a South African thing. I think we need men to be present. It's not about being perfect. It's about being present. And your mentorship, I mean, take me through what guided you there, because I haven't even started thinking about that field. And it's awesome that you've thought about that.
Well, I guess, life at large has guided me towards that place. Hearing about people's stories, because I never experienced it, right? I had a father figure that was there. Yes, my dad was not perfect, or is not the perfect man, although he's my mentor, my role model. He's not perfect by any stretch. But the man was there all the time, and he showed up. That's what we need. We need good examples. Yes, you can, watch the screen and obviously read books and whatever, but there is no great example than a physical one. And I guess that's what we need. A mother can only stretch you to a certain point, but some things just need father figures. And that's what I realized. And, I took importance in obviously trying to assume that role to people that didn't really have that, because I had a good example. So I want to relay that good examples, because we have way too many bad examples out there. And people are going to do what they know, right? If you don't know better, you can't act better. So I'm just trying to that loop, in people's lives, show them better so that they can do better.
And I love that, because sometimes the obsession is to try and be this Tom Hanks perfect screen dad. But like you say, there is no perfect, but being present. I love what you said about your father and him being present. So you know what? Maybe some people don't have context. Like, give me one of the stories of some of the guys you're mentoring, and like that missing hole of the missing dad, it can lead us to some scary places. And I'm sure you've heard some stories you never thought you'd ever hear.
It's crazy. It's crazy. One example of one of the dudes that I'm chilling with, I don't like the word mentoring too much. It makes me, kind of like be on a pedestal a little bit. Yeah, that's the thing. It makes me feel like a hot man. And I'm still like 28, so I'm like, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm still learning how to do this as well. Like, I'm going through like type of thing. Yeah, but it's crazy. You get a single mother staying in a place like Kalicha with a kid, not even an RDP house. They stay in a shack. The mother has to go hustle. The kid is left to go to school, comes back, no mother in the house, because the mother's doing double jobs, because obviously she has to provide. And it's not just them. They're like 2 or 3 of them. Now it's kids of a very young age. Like we're talking about a 12-year-old is actually leading the house and taking care of the 6-year-old and the 3-year-old. I mean, there is so much that can happen in that house. The 12-year-old is going through their stuff as well at school. We all go through our things. Now they have to step up and be that type of person. While there's things like bad influences happening in and around you all the time, And obviously, you having bad role models because Kasi is Kasi. The Ginters are seen as role models because, again, why? We don't have good role models. So they're seen as the role models because those are the people that I can afford, that look like they're living a lavish life and look like they live in the life that they want to live. From the outside, it seems lavish, but there's only one road to that place, where they're going, and it's only like that. It can never be anything positive. They're just leading a negative life, and they're gonna end up, either they end up dead or you end up in jail or something like that. So it's those type of things that happen on a daily that we privileged people that grew up in a very stable household don't understand. And having to live there with them, you understand how hectic it is.
Yeah, dude. As you speaking, bro, I'm thinking back to when I got a little bit rebellious from around 13, 14. I could really feel myself go some kind of way, and that continued right through my 20s to about 23, 24. But you know what I went back to? Like, it was my mother and my father's teachings that you have just said.
Yes.
Like, they were both present.
Yes.
They put things into me early. They were always, get up, do this. Like, deep down inside, they were planting that seed. And I hope I'm making them proud. Like, for me, what I guess I'd want to ask you, oh man, I hope so. But my mom's a demanding lady. Listen, the tea's another thing about mothers. The tea's never perfect. It's never, the tea's never perfect. You know how it is. You make it. Hey, bring milk. No, it's too much. You know how it is with moms. They're always keeping me on your toes.
The milk is not hot enough. Go put it back in the mouth. Hey, why does the milk have little? You know that when milk is hot and when it's boiling, it has that little thing on top. Why does it have the thing out? Yes. Hey, just like they're just going back and forth. That's how mothers are. They're very demanding, but we love them like that.
Oh, the best. You know what the alpha mom move is, though? If it's like, okay, afternoon, let's say you've cleaned the house, cleaned the dishes now, and they want tea, but you sitting maybe in your bedroom or you outside, you got some friends, is they're not moving from the couch, which is right next to the kitchen. They're not doing it. What they're doing is, oh, I wish I could just have some tea and put my feet up. That message, it's really like a broadcast.
Yeah. Subliminal. That's what we do. And also, I'm just thinking, I just say that, talking about the couch. Mothers are hectic people. Like, I don't understand them. A person could be sitting next on the couch. The remote is not even a meter away from her. She could literally just reach out to the meter. You're chilling in the room. It's like, hey, Papa, come here. I come. Open a little remote. I'm like, Ma.
I know exactly. What about this one?
Couldn't you just do that?
Yep. What about this one? It's winter now. You've already tucked her with the blanket on the sofa because she's watching gospel or whatever it is, right? So she's already snug tight. Yeah. But she'll ask you for pillows to lift her feet. I don't know if you've had this one. And the pillows you bring, it's either always too low or too high. You need to definitely go, come back, man.
It's like, Mom, we only have a certain amount of fillers in the house, so what must I have? Must I take the foam out? Must I don't know.
So there's an international standard.
Yeah. It is. Now, it's very so. I normally say with mothers and parents, I think, especially for my era, they literally come from the same factory, bro. There's no way. There's too many things that they do that I like. I talk to friends and be like, your mother does that too? It's like, no.
Standard.
Yeah, they come from the same factory. I don't know. They just keep coming. They're not conveyor belt or something like that.
But what's incredible is, and this for me again leans more on my mother, and I mean my father was an extremely present man, and I'm eternally grateful. But what's incredible is when you do, let's call it wrong, right? It doesn't matter how old you are, is that they are always on your side. Like I can't believe how my mother, it doesn't matter, windy, rainy, doesn't matter, you did this, people are saying this, she's always in your corner. And it's like, it's something now that I'm becoming a groot man. I look back and I go, is this person even human? that capacity to keep forgiving, that capacity for it's going to be okay. It's invaluable. And I hope they would know that.
The level of emotional intelligence that mothers have is crazy. Like I'll give you a simple example in my life. While I play professional sports, right, I have good games and bad games. I'll never have just good games. I have good games and bad games. My mother knows exactly what to say when I have a good game and exactly what to say when I have a bad game. And there's some level of criticism as well that follows, because obviously my mother has high standards for me. So if I had not a baddish game like an average one, but I don't feel bad at myself, I don't know how she gauges it, but she'll be like, Papa, but this one, you're not there. And we have a laugh about it.
Yeah.
But when I have a bad game and I'm feeling bad about it, then she won't come to me with the criticism. She'll rather come with me with so much care and support and love and be like, yo, Papa, I know like how you feeling type of thing. It's all right. We'll try again next week. These things happen. You can't always have a good game. I still love you type of thing. And I'm like, for years, I just couldn't understand what this thing is. She can gauge, I don't know. I'm not like, it's not even having a conversation. She literally just says these things by herself, like without having a proper conversation to gauge where I am.
Yeah.
So I'll just get a message again as I'm driving home, just before I drive home. And I'll just be sitting in the car and I'll just read the thing. I'm like, how does this woman do it? She gets it right all the time. It's so crazy.
I connect with that. Listen, Sabs, I want to give you the last word on this one. Maybe send a message and I'll let you obviously wrap things up. This has been an awesome chat. But send a message directly to her, man. It sounds like she's an incredible, they say, watintu mfazi, watintu bogoto. So, Sabs, I'll give you the last word. Send a message directly to your wonderful mother.
But man, you putting me on the spot here. What do I say? What do I say about Mama? Yeah, they are really no words to describe what you are and what you mean to me. What role you've played in my life. I am the man that I am today because of you. You molded something incredible. I think you modeled something that was in your dreams. I hope I keep on making you proud. I will love you forever. Thank you.